Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I saw Shoot 'em Up. This is a 2007 action film directed by Michael Davis, and it stars Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci, Paul Giamatti, and Stephen McHattie. In this film, a man named Mr. Smith delivers a woman's baby during a shootout and is then called upon to protect the newborn from the army of gunmen. So, what did I think of Shoot 'em Up? Well, I have never seen this film before. And gotta be honest, even though, again, I have not seen every action movie from the 2000s, or even close to all the popular ones, this is easily one of the best ones I've ever seen from the 2000s. I'm not kidding. Like, the way that the choreography's done, the way that it's shot, the tone, the very fun tone that never, it never, like, it doesn't let up in a good way to the point where you aren't bored. It's perfectly paced. Like just I adore this movie. But let me get to the cast. Clive Owen plays Smith. He's a mysterious man, happens to come across this woman, helps her give birth and all that. I love Clive Owen. I've always loved him ever since Children of Men. He was also in The Bourne Identity. He was in King Arthur, um, Killer Elite. He's been in plenty of films. The Informer, he was good. He kills it with the choreography and the fighting and everything. But yeah, he's a great addition to this. Perfect casting, I think. Monica Bellucci plays Donna Quintano. She DQ. She's a prostitute that ends up helping along the way, like feeding the baby and everything. Um, I've always liked Monica Bellucci. She's a very sexy woman. She's gorgeous in this, and I think she worked pretty good with the tone they were going for. And yeah, again, perfect casting for that character. Paul Giamatti plays Hertz, excuse me, a hitman that's basically calling all these goons together to kill this baby. Paul Giamatti, character actor, he's been in a million things. Truman Show, Holdovers, Saving Private Ryan, uh, 12 Years a Slave. He's been in a lot of things. I think he is a very fun, very entertaining villain. Yes, he is mustache twirling, but I think that is kind of the point. But yeah, I really enjoyed his performance in this. And Stephen McHattie plays Hammerson. He's basically the owner of this gun company that um, basically all the guns are from. Stephen McHattie is probably, I guess he'd be most well known for like the Watchmen, History of Violence. He's been in a million things as well. There's a Canadian film that a lot of people like called Pontypool. I have not seen it, but I've heard it's really good. Um, but yeah, I think he did a good job as well. And what you've got here, what you've got in Shoot 'em Up is an action movie that the director, Michael Davis, his entire like vision was to make a film, an action film that was basically a live action cartoon in a way, or a basically a perfectly Americanized John Woo type film. Now, while I will say there aren't a lot of shots of Clive Owen like diving and shooting, um, I will say that this is one of the closest times we've ever gotten to an American action film successfully doing John Woo style of action, where you have people like jumping through the air, being very acrobatic, it not just being like, oh, shoots gun, reverse shot, a person getting shot. Here, he actually tries to do something that at the time this came out, 2007, you had so many generic ass action movies, and one that I'd like to compare it to, that I know it's not R-rated like this, but is one that people constantly say is like one of the best action movies of all time, The Bourne Identity. And around this time, Bourne Ultimatum had come out, I think. So compared to Bourne Ultimatum, where you have that fight scene where they're in the hallway and Bourne just goes like you can't tell what the fuck's happening. In this film, you can tell what's happening, and it's definitely like brutal and really in kind of insane action sequences in this, to the point where I'd say I would rather watch this over John Wick 1, Chapter 2, 4. Um, but like I know they're kind of going for different things. John Wick's whole thing is like it's a little bit like, well, once you get to 4, it's just like a fucking cartoon in a bad way, I think, to the point where nothing matters. But for this, it's like for this film, the entire time you're like, okay, this is fun. I am having fun. The This film is not concerned with having a like deep message or anything, and I'm fine with that. I'm always fine with that. This is an action movie. It does what it's supposed to do. Deliver really fun, intense action. It's bloody as fuck. Um, it's got a good sense of humor, actually. Like a lot of the jokes I actually thought, even when they were kind of dumb, they worked. There's a bit where like Paul Giamatti's character and Clive Owen's character are shooting at each other and the goons are shooting at him and all that. And there's a sign. There's like a sign with letters, and he like shoots out just the letters so that it says "fuck you." Um, and then Paul Giamatti shoots out extra letters so it says "fuck you too." And like, it's kind of hard to visualize it, but like, I like humor like that, and it sold it. It had the right timing. This Michael Davis guy, I don't know much about him. Apparently, he's directed a few other things. He directed 100 Girls, 100 Women, um, a Carrie Russell romantic comedy called 8 Days a Week, some monster movie or horror movie called Monster Man. And he did a short called Riding Shotgun, an animated short, which I think he animated himself. Just a second. I messed it up. I keep messing this up. Whenever I keep forgetting that whenever I do that, it messes with the colors. My bad. But so I guess he's an animator because apparently how he pitched this film, so I keep readjusting, was he did a bunch of like animatics and people were like, "Oh shit, that looks cool. Let's get this guy a movie." And he hasn't really directed anything since Shoot 'Em Up other than a a film that he finished, but he's trying to get a distributor on his YouTube channel. And I did actually comment on his video, and he responded that he's trying to find a distributor. The film is finished, and it's called Nixed. And I'm very curious about this because it says the mostly true story of Richard Nixon solving the mystery of who really killed John F. Kennedy. And he animated this all by himself. Directed, written, and animated all by him. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And just from those two alone, where it's kind of like gonna be kind of a ridiculous animated thing, I can see what he's trying to do with his like brand of humor. He's trying to do something that should be a bit more serious, but with a bit of a lighthearted tone to it. And I think that's what really makes me connect with this, aside from something like John Wick. I do not get me wrong. Excuse me. Do not get me wrong. I really like John Wick Chapter 1. I I think John Wick Chapter 2 is good, but could have been a lot better. 3, I think, is fantastic. And, well, I really like John Wick Chapter 1 and 3. But one of my biggest issues with those two is the tone, because it doesn't feel. I feel like a lighthearted tone would have helped. Like, not like a parodic tone, but something that was a bit more like playful. And I think that's what this achieved. It's basically it's an action movie that's insane, got insane action. It doesn't take itself too serious, and it's super short. It is 86 minutes long, and without credits, it is about 81 minutes. Perfect length for what this is, which is kind of a chase movie, but with lots of gunfights. The gunfights in this are insane. They don't feature a bunch of quick cut editing. You can actually tell what the fuck's happening, and it's insanely violent, which is what you should do. Um, I didn't notice a lot of CG. I did notice a couple of shots where there was like clearly CG blood, but because of the tone this is going for and the fact that it was such a short shot, I was like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Um, there are some bits that people would say are objectively bad visual effects. There's a bit where he's jumping out of a plane and shooting at guys while he's free fall and then pulls the parachute. But for the most part, it just felt like that bit in Crank, but done better. Because this gets compared to Crank all the time. Uh, I guess because it's like kind of stylish, like fun action movie that doesn't have a lot of plot, I guess, even though there's plenty of those. But I do enjoy this a lot more than Crank. I could not get into Crank's editing. Um, yes, there were certain parts that really hit because of the editing, but a lot of it also, I've seen it done better since then. Like Jolt. I'd say Jolt with Kate Beckinsale is a better movie than Crank, as like I cared more about the character. It had a bit more of a comedic edge that I liked. I like the comedy in Jolt. Um, More memorable performances. Um, and the action in Jolt, I think, hit a bit better for me, even though it was a bit more like hand to hand than shooting for the most part. But with there are some very memorable action sequences. There's one where he's having sex with Monica Bellucci and shooting at guys while doing it. And this type of scene was also done in the film Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage, which is also a really fucking fun movie, by the way. I feel like a lot of people that didn't like it didn't understand what it was going for. You're still allowed to not like it, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's horribly done action or whatever." I can't agree there. I'd say this is quite a little better than Drive Angry for sure, but they're also kind of going for different things. But yeah, um, there's the opening scene where you have this movie has a killer fucking soundtrack. The score by Paul Haslinger, I recognize the name, but don't remember from where. Let me actually look at that because I know for a fact I've recognized this guy's name. Oh, Mike DePud did stunts. Oh shit, cool. I recognize that name. Holy shit, there's so many people doing stunts. It is a stunt-filled movie. It is one of those movies where you need a lot of stunt actors. Jesus Christ, I can't even get to it. But the music in this film works really well. There's a gunfight near the beginning, or an action scene near the beginning, that's set to "Breed" by Nirvana, which is one of my favorite Nirvana songs. Where he like does this shoots this thing. There's oil on the ground, and he slides across the floor shooting guys. Um, then late in a later scene, there's like Ace of Spades by Motorhead's playing. and he like shoots out the legs of a table. No, he shoots out the legs of the table in the first action scene and then runs up it and then jumps over something and shoots the people on the other side. It really does remind me of that John Woo style of action that's very kinetic, that's very full of life, and you need an actor that is physically able to do that stuff. And I think Clive Owen was a great choice because maybe you wouldn't expect him in this type of movie, but once you see it, it's like, holy shit, he put a lot of effort into this fucking role. There's like a bit where he's like, there's like people, goons coming up these stairs and shit, and this staircase, and he starts like grappling down with the baby in his arms, shooting these guys and shit. This is just a really fucking, just a blast to watch. And I'm finding it hard to find any things wrong with the film because it never really gets slow, it never really peters out, it never becomes boring. It's just a blast of a movie. It's not long at all. It's 81 minutes without credits. And yeah, I dare anybody to be bored by this movie. Maybe you don't like um a character that's played for sex appeal. That's probably what a lot of the one-star reviews are going to say. Oh, Monica Bellucci's only here to show her tits, which okay, actors, people are allowed to do what they want with their own body. But yeah, this is just a fun fucking movie. Not much else I can say. Just watch it. But yeah. That was my review of Shoot 'em Up. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door, out.